All information in this program is known to be accurate at the time of recording. Any commentary by the host is for discussion purposes only. Anyone labeled a person of interest by the host or family has not been charged with a crime. All suspects charged with crimes related or unrelated to a case covered are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Opinions and views expressed by the host do not represent views of the families or sponsors of this program. Being a voice for the voiceless is not just a slogan, it's a mission. We are not just covering the stories of the missing and murdered, we stay with them, support them, stand with them. We do so as long as it takes to get to the truth. From Grim Media and the Grim Truth Podcast, this is Behind the Truth Case Updates. And welcome back to the Grim Truth Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Steve Stone, host of the Grim Truth Podcast, bringing you something different. This is called Behind the Truth. It's an episodic series we will do every once in a while, not all the time. When case updates come, we're going to talk about other things, and we may even have guests on the programs as we roll them out. Again, this isn't going to be an every week thing. This is just going to be something that pops up when we have case updates or we have news to tell you. It kind of takes the pace of Grim Media News and the Weekly Reminder at the same time and just focuses on the podcast and the brand. So that's what we're going to do. Before we begin, please, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the Grim Truth Podcast YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Grim Truth Podcast and any other content related to the missing and the murdered. Like, share, subscribe, comment, get involved, because maybe one of you, somebody out there watching this, might be able to turn something around and get to the truth about one of our missing and murdered. So let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about the case of Eric Lane, which we covered on episode 32. So the family received the findings from the autopsy, and it was ruled a homicide. And now I'm sure you're sitting there wondering, well, it's a homicide. Why wasn't Sebastian arrested? So what I've learned is, unfortunately, even if a person has used a stand your ground law or self-defense, the cause of death ultimately is murder because they didn't die of natural causes. They didn't succumb to, it wasn't an accidental shooting. It was, in fact, a murder. So that's what they're calling it. It's not right. Here's the thing. When you get down to it, the law enforcement needs to come out with the whole kit and caboodle. They need to let us know a bunch of things. For example, law enforcement says a weapon was found on the scene, that it belonged to Eric Lane. Where's this weapon? Provide us a report. Provide us with transparency. What was, according to what your investigation was, what were the circumstances that led Sebastian to feel his life was in danger to shoot and kill Eric Lane? Now, if you're getting your ass whipped, if you're getting punched in the face, and if you look at the force matrix, when a person feels their life is threatened or in danger, then they have the ability to, retreat or defend themselves. Now, we've covered this, and there'll be a description below if you haven't checked out the podcast. Eric was beating Sebastian's ass. He was fighting him with his fists. There was a lot of the eyewitnesses that I talked to said that it was just a fisticuff, and yeah, Sebastian was getting his ass kicked. And I think the only reason why Sebastian shot Eric was because he was getting his ass kicked. So law enforcement needs to provide the information to the people, be transparent of why they feel this was a justifiable shoot, why they think that this was bottom line self-defense, because I think something's going on. I don't trust it. I don't trust the investigation, in my opinion, was done haphazardly and wasn't fully investigated. I think a guy who doesn't call the police, he texts a police to get there. I mean, I don't understand this. They need to come forward. The bottom line is, what's next for the family. The only way that we are going to get any movement on this is to petition the the state police to get involved and reinvestigate this case, and look at it and just start from the very, very beginning. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to start a petition on change.org. I will try to get it out there today. I will post it on Eric Lane's page, and I'll post it on the Grim Truth podcast. We want to sign a petition to get the Arkansas State Police to go ahead and reinvestigate this case, so that there's another entity looking at it. Because I think that, first of all, I think that the cops didn't care about this case. I think it was just easy for them to say Sebastian, it was easy for him to shoot him, and it was self-defense, and that was it, cut and dry. Because, again, we're talking, and Eric was never shy about, his history. He did things that, weren't on the legal side of things, but that doesn't mean someone deserves to get shot down in cold blood. So we're going to do a petition for Eric. We're going to get that out hopefully today, if not Monday, and we'll get that started. I want everybody to sign it, share it. Let's get it going, and let's get the state police involved, because we're not going to stop fighting for justice for Eric Lane. And if anybody else has any information on Eric Lane and they want to talk, you can email me, stevestone@thegrimtruth.com. You can message me, Facebook, The Grim Truth, and get in touch with me, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we get justice for Eric. We also want to make sure that this gets looked into as soon as possible by another agency. The other case I want to talk about today is Chris Sanders. Christopher Sanders will be missing 5 years this coming August. August the 13th will be 5 years. And guess what, folks? We have a place to look for Chris. We have a location. That location we're not going to discuss. But I will say this. The location is a breakthrough, because it's something that we've needed, and I think that this is the closest we've ever been to locating Chris. And there's a lot of people that we can thank, but we're not there yet. There are a lot of things that have to be done before we can start searching the area. I want to specifically talk to certain people out there, and I'm not going to name any names. You know who you are. Chris did not deserve what we believe happened to him. He didn't deserve it. And there are people out there that I know for a fact know the entirety of the story. They know things. They know things that can implicate people. And they're afraid to implicate those people. And I get it. I understand. I do. But you have to search your soul, and you have to search. You have to think about it. What if it was you? What if it was your family member? And I get it, man. There are bad people out there. Without a doubt, there are bad, very bad people. The same bad people that have taken Chris from his mother, from his family, his children, and Angela. I mean, I don't understand why you are not fulfilling an obligation to step up to the plate and say what you know. At the end of the day, it really doesn't. It doesn't make sense, because we're going to find out anyway. And when we do find out, there are going to be people looking at you for the answers. So you can hide. You can dig your head in the sand. You can say you remember something and then say you misspoke. You can do all these things. But at the end of the day, we're going to find what we're going to find. and we're so close. I mean, we're really, really close, and this is why I come in and do this every single day. So we're gonna find out, and we'll let you guys know when things get more planned out, when we're going to be conducting the search, and what we'll need. Stay tuned. But I will offer you this: if you have any information and you want to get ahead of the game, you have the opportunity. There's a $4,000 reward for Chris Sanders. You can contact Texas Crime Stoppers at 1-800-252-TIPS, 1-800-252-8477. And I want to say one thing. This case still belongs to Monahans PD. And if they're not going to work it, then they need to hand it over to the Texas Rangers. Ask the Texas Rangers to take it over officially, and then you can go do whatever it is you guys do. But, I mean, you're not doing anything. Other people are doing your job for you, and I think it's pathetic. And just hand over the case. Just hand it over. Just give it up, because you're not doing any good to nobody else. And the third segment of this video is something that I really don't want to address, but I'm going to address it nonetheless. Lately, there have been, some negativity towards the podcast, but this one here is just, it takes the cake. So if you've all heard of the JoJo's for Justice, the one lady in particular really she just takes the cake, really. And I don't understand why I'm getting all the pushback, because I made a decision not to work with her. So JoJo has been basically attacking me, basically saying I'm not the truth, I'm a fake, I'm a phony. I don't understand where she's coming from, but I put this up here so you guys can take a look at it. This is the reason why I didn't work with her. Everybody told me that the things that she's supposed to keep quiet, she doesn't keep quiet about. And she isn't very trustworthy. And she came to me with information, according to her, about the Andrew Deweese case. And I did my due diligence, and at the end of the day, I decided that I wasn't gonna work with her. There were other things involved that, one other reasons why it didn't make sense, because having watched some of her content and listened to her, not everything is a conspiracy, especially in Arkansas. Yeah, and I get it. There's corruption everywhere. If you look hard enough, you'll find it. But it was just too far down the rabbit hole for me, and I've done pretty good so far in handling the Deweese case, to the point where we actually got someone to listen to us, and the state police is looking into the case. Now, she tried to take credit for that, and in a post that she did, and a bunch of other things. Look, I made it a point not to work with her because of all the drama. I try to stay out of the drama. Sometimes when you're doing stuff and advocating for the missing, it comes with a lot. You've got families that are upset. They're very emotional. So there's already the environment for that. And having somebody that, as far as I'm concerned, lacks professionalism, and even some of the people commenting on her post said that, instead of focus on the missing, she makes it about all this drama. And, she can stay in her lane, I'll stay in mine. But, I don't appreciate the bashing from her, at least of all her. You know, if I do something that is something that, you know, people want to call out and you know, okay, fine. You know, we can have open, honest dialogue and a debate about it. But calling me out because I refuse to work with her, I mean, it's preposterous. It's childish, and again, we're taking away from the missing, and I don't want to do that. So that's the reason why I didn't work with JoJo, and you know, she can stay over in her lane and do her thing. I'll do mine, and you know, that'll be the end of that. I want to end this video on some good news that I got today. And this was a case we covered back last year. And I'm very proud to announce that Heather Wall, that was missing from Fort Smith, Arkansas, was found safe. And all the credit for her being found needs to go to Beverly Pace. Beverly Pace was a very prominent figure, people that we talked to during our investigation and when we were interviewing people. And Beverly never gave up. And I want to commend her for her diligence and her effort into not taking no for an answer. She took the bull by the horns, and she was able to stumble on things that even I couldn't stumble on, and she found her. And so, Beverly, thank you so much for being a guardian and doing your best to find Heather. And again, it's good to see one of these found safe. She's doing very well. She was in a, I think it was a convalescent home, and she's been there for a couple of years. And it's just good to know that she's safe, she's good, she's healthy, and all credit to Beverly. And I want to thank Kristen for getting the information to me so I could share it with you guys. These are one of those cases where, you know, when you hear about somebody missing, you think the worst, but at the end of the day, this is a win. It's a good story, and thank God that she's been found safe and sound, and she's doing very well. So again, Beverly and Kristen, thank you so much. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Behind the Truth. Again, subscribe to the Grim Truth Podcast YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Grim Truth Podcast or any other content related to the murder and the missing. For now, I'm your host, Steve Stone. Have a nice weekend, and God bless.